Kam se ztratili Ninjas in Pyjamas? Já nevím, ti hráli CSko, ne, jenom kámo. Jo, lolko hráli, no, a byl tam, já si pamatuju, že tam u nich byl freeze, jo, a oni vypadli z LCS, no, evropskýho. A pak už, myslím, že nikdy lolko jako nehráli pak. Takže momenty, které změnili lolko nevždy. Třeba, nevím, co se podívat. Bude tam určitě xPeke backdoor, a ostatní asi nevím moc, no.
Standing and largest esports in the world, it shouldn't come as a surprise that this massive game has had its fair share of historically iconic moments, with the first on.
To je ten drak na těch Worlds, nebo když tam byl ještě, vole, ještě Galio tam přilítl, ne? Některých Worlds. To mi přišlo tak strašně divný třeba.
This list coming in the most high stakes match that any professional player could imagine, as in the deciding game of Worlds Finals in 2022, TRX finally looked as if they had their miracle run on lock with most of T1 eliminated and the Baron in their sights. However, there was one major problem. You see, T1's ADC Gumayushi had already been DRX jungler PO6's worst nightmare, as his Varus had managed to snipe away not one but two objectives already from him in the series, with each being more important than the last and both serving as key roles in contributing to T1's championship dreams staying alive. And by opting into a bold play TPing into the mid lane, Gumayushi had one chance to swing the final game of the World Championship into his team's control, and though it was a risk and a near literal shot in the dark, his Varus had done it before, and thankfully for T1 fans, when it matters most, you can count on Gumayushi
To je ten styl, ne?
to deliver.
To je 2 roky dozadu ještě. On to bude naslepo styl na teďka, čum. Ty píče. To jsem koukal live někdy v 6 ráno, že to bylo v noci, někdy, nevím kde, v nějaké světa se to hrálo, že jo, zase. Takže jsem to koukal v 6 ráno, poslední hra BO5.
Now, while King and Aatrox
A stejně to ještě prodali, kámo, no.
would serve as a crucial player and ultimately stopping T1's last-ditch effort to claim the Summoner's Cup, when it comes to remarkable Aatrox plays during Worlds, there's no better example of the Dark and Blade's dominance than the Shy's impressive performance during 2018's Worlds semifinals. Coming off the back of a dominant Jace game which rendered G2 Wonder's Aatrox near useless, the Shy looked to prove how strong this recently reworked champion truly was by locking it in during the third and potentially final game of the series, hoping, alongside the rest of IG, to sweep the EULCS 3rd seed out of their impressive tournament run. But though they had struggled in the first 2 games, G2 managed to secure themselves a slight early lead, taking the Shy down twice in the process thanks to a pair of tower dives. However, after securing a couple more kills in a seemingly won fight, it seemed that the European representatives had lost track of IG's top laner, as with a great flank angle, the Shy managed to turn his team's seemingly lost fight on its head, putting himself back into relevance.
Jarnan Vadit. To je ještě před tou jejich nejlepší, jako nejsilnější érou, ne, si myslím, že to je někdy 2017 nebo 18, myslím.
In the process, and though he had already helped his team in refining their footing during this crucial match, just 2 minutes later after IG had picked up their second Infernal Dragon, while the LPL finalists seemed to be content with their claiming of the objective, the top lane legend wanted even more, as with immaculate precision, not only would the team secure a Drake, but led by the Shy, they would also secure the series.
Trying to make something happen, but G2 looked like they just want to disengage this one now. They already got the pick onto the enemy jungler. So many people! That's the
To asi to jsem viděl live, ale nevím, který to je rok už.
Aatrox damage and the Shy makes it happen. The Shy finds everyone there. Rookie still hunting. Oh, Rookie makes it a double kill for himself. He cleans up perks and tragedy strikes for the EULCS representative.
But when it comes to players whose game sense is next level, if we turn back time to a few years prior, Madlife was showcasing his incredible calculations with his insane support plays, notably on his legend.
A to ještě někdo Madlife vůbec? Když přestal hrát, tak v season 5 ne už. On hrál někdy prostě úplně od začátku až do season 5, 6, 7 maximálně.
Thresh-pick. You see, in the round of 16 group stage during the 2013 OGN Champions Summer Split,
Já se teda už 100% pamatuju, že jo, ale dneska už to asi moc nevědějí, že?
CJ Frost found themselves faced off against Maximum Impact Gaming in their second meeting of this best of 2 series.
To byl Insane Hooker? No, přesně tak, jako za treše.
And after having secured victory in Game 1, thanks in part again to Madlife's insane supporting abilities, the team locked in this terrifying Thresh pick in search of securing a 2-0 scoreline, which thankfully seemed to be a likely out.
Jako Thresh od té doby, co vyšel, tak první 3 3, 4, možná 5 let, co v té hře byl, tak to byl fakt jako nejlepší support, no. Žádný jiný support nebyl ani jako, nebyl tak těžký jako on, za prvé, jako, ale neměl ani jako takovej dopad na tu hru. Jediný support, se kterým jsem mohl fakt jako totálně potáhat tu hru v té době. Dneska už mi přijde takovej nic moc, no, jakože prostě to, co umí on, tak dělá do dalších 50 čempů v té hře prostě, no. Ale na svůj dobu byl fakt jako těžký, ale zároveň to byl fakt jako 1v9 support, no. Já jsem ho třeba jako i mainil někdy v season 4 nebo 5, měl jsem třeba 600 her a byl to třeba můj nejhranější champ v jedné sezóně.
In the early game, both on their mid laner and ADC, CJ Frost were able to quickly snowball the game out of control for MIG, having a
jako mega zábavný ještě, no.
crushingly high gold lead not even 20 minutes into the game. However, just because victory was all but guaranteed for this first seeded lineup, this didn't necessarily mean that Madlife was done showing off his insane thresh mechanics, as even though Ezreal can be incredibly slippery with his Essence Flux E, it wouldn't be enough to escape the death sentence.
Jo, to je ten play, kde mu on prediktne, kam Ezreal skočí Ečkem, no. A hodí tam ten hook už dopředu.
4 turrets to 0. It seems rather inconceivable that Blitz is going to be able to have a chance to come back. Wansuck again getting caught a bit. How does he hit every single one? How is that possible? You know, I feel
a to je season 3 nebo season 4 ještě, že? Je to stará mapa.
like after Madlife retires from League of Legends, he's just going to become like a pro fisherman or something.
Ten play byl všude, no, v té době. To se mluvilo, no.
No. He's going to just cast in and
to je jako působivý, no, udělat na takhle velkým turnaji.
catch like whatever he wants. He's like, this time I want a 6-foot muskie.
No.
He's at what?
He's going to rapture straight to heaven.
By having reads on enemies that were so impressive, excellent supports even to this day are still held to the standard of having Madlife level hooks, and while it's rare to have a skill so iconic that it's still referred
Kam se ztratili ninjas in pyjamas? Já nevím, ti hráli CSko, ne, jenom kámo. No.
to by just the name of the player. During All-Stars of that same year, one of Madlife's fellow Korean teammates made a play that was
Jo, lolko hráli, no, a byl tam, já si pamatuju, že tam u nich byl freeze, jo, a oni vypadli z LCS, no, evropskýho. A pak už myslím, že nikdy lolko jako nehráli pak.
so impressive for the time that it still remains arguably the most used signature combo in the game to this day. Now, if you've watched a fair amount of pro play or even just high-elo games over the years, you're probably all too familiar with the ever-popular jungle pick of Lee Sin, whose high skill ceiling as a champion grants
ty Chinese píčoviny, TikTok Lee Sin má jméno, vole.
him plenty of potential to make some incredibly flashy plays.
So Michael Average prostě komba v customce, no.
And no ability makes Masters of the Blind Monk stand out more than skillful usage of his famous Dragon's Rage ultimate, allowing the player to kick an enemy champion away, while any additional opponents hit on this path will take damage and be sent airborne as well. But while players had already made some insane plays utilizing their flashes to create optimal angles to kick a strike into the enemy team, when it came time for All-Stars 2013, the airborne as well. But while players had already made some insane plays utilizing their flashes to create optimal angles to kick a strike into the enemy team, when it came time for All-Stars 2013, the Korean jungler InSec brought forth the next evolution of this ultimate, as instead of burning his flash like most players would, the KT Bullets representative instead opted to make use of the champion's uncommon ability to dash towards, pushing the champion's skill ceiling higher and creating the now commonplace combo of the InSec in the process.
And the start of this fight was just so key when InSec comes in behind Yellow Feet, cues in, wards back, kicks in. That is so hard to execute. Even though Europe tried to calm Wood and made really everyone sit on the Rumble ultimate, they'd already lost their AD carry and they burned all their CC release and counter initiation.
Dneska už je to úplně normální play, že? Za Lisina.
So the rest of Korea just chased down Europe.
However, if you're still looking for even more international hype, there's perhaps no better place to look than Game 3 of the World's 2018 quarterfinal series between KT Rolster and Invictus Gaming, whose ending still remains as one of the most legendary in the game's history. As with IG being up 2-0 in this best of 5 series, headed into this third game, KT found themselves with their backs against the wall and looking to find some way to turn this series around, though ultimately the game would remain in a pretty close state throughout most of its duration, with IG holding a slight advantage as the intense match pressed onward. And thanks to the Shy's Fiora constantly providing a terrifying split push threat, his team slowly tore apart more and more of KT's base as the Korean team's hopes of staying alive in Worlds began to dwindle. That is until both teams mounted up for their deciding bout, with IG opting for Elder Drake and KT responding with a Baron shortly after punishing the Shy's over-aggression. And by utilizing their Baron to barrel down mid lane, KT was confident that they could neutralize the Shy whilst creating a formidable push on their own, and with both teams having their eyes locked on their opponent's nexuses, reality set in that the match was about to be decided and it was still anyone's game.
It's KT going for the base.
NIP hrajou LCK. Co? Tak to vůbec nevím.
It's gonna be a base race. Nexus current number 1, taking down to half HP. KT looking to end it right here, right now. Ning taking down to half. It's Shy versus Smeb in the base at the same time. Otto's gonna be taken very low. Yukao barely gonna be kept alive. Score taken down to one corner. Smeb's nearly gonna be killed now as well. Def taken so low. The Blade Caller's not able to find him. Def goes in a killing spree. It's the Shy still in the base. It's KT looking to try to stand and fight if they can. The Shy has made his way onto the inhibitor turret, onto the Nexus turret. They're gonna be taken down. KT's still marching. It's a base race. The Shy's on the blue Nexus. KT's on the red. Who's gonna win? The Shy will not. And KT
nedal. Kamo, a vyhráli to pak ještě. Protože to bylo 0-2 tady.
gonna try to stand and fight if they can. The Shy has made his way onto the inhibitor turret, onto the Nexus turret. They're gonna be taken down. KT still marching. It's a base race. The Shy's on.
Už to nenechali na obojí, vole. Zajímalo, bych rád viděl oboje.
KT's on the red. Who's gonna win? The Shy will not. And KT takes it to game 4.
And rewinding to earlier that year, in the 2018 EULCS, fans were introduced to the then up-and-coming mid-lane star Caps, who not only dominated the region with his insane mid-lane capabilities, but he did so all whilst playing some of the most random picks. And though the nickname Baby Faker would pull out the especially unexpected Kayn mid-lane in their regular season match against Misfits, when Fnatic once again clashed against the team in the summer semifinals, Caps noticed the tankiness and generally low range of the enemy team and came up with his now classically unconventional response.
Oh my Jesus, Dylan. Oh my Jesus.
Jo, Vayne na mid, že?
No, we have to go.
Vayne do Gallianu.
Corky.
No, Olaf Galio. Alisai, we're going Vayne, by the way.
Are you serious?
It's Trundle Vayne.
Shouldn't we just go Corky?
But are you serious? Is it gonna win us the game?
Of course. I'm saying, I trust you, Caps. If you wanna go Vayne, just go Vayne. Just log in Vayne.
Now, while this pick worked well on paper, to the surprise of many, it actually worked pretty well in game, racking up kills and leading to some of the highest level voice comms we've ever heard professional play.
I think we might win. I'm here. We win.
A jako trochu štěstí tady ten Caps měl, no. Vem si, že kdyby tady jako zdechl, že jo? Kdyby chyběl jeden hit, aby zdechl, tak...
I'm here.
Ale jako...
We win. Holy Caps, I saw that. That was really sick.
Tak tank jako, ještě k tomu Galio, že jo, který je prostě do AP čempů dobrý, tak do Vayne jako by neměl mít šanci, no, ale i tak tu hru docela prohrávali, ale bylo jasný, že v lateu to bude pro ně lepší, jak když mají tady Alistar, Galio, Olaf, Sion, ty 4 tanky do Vayne.
However,
though
this pick has certainly gone down as one of the most memorable in the LEC's history, if we rewind back to semifinals of Worlds 2016, we find ourselves once again revisiting one of the most memorable off-meta matches in the game's history, in the now famous series between SKT and the Rocks Tigers. After pulling out a now legendary Misfortune support pick, the Tigers sought to level out this series to 1 apiece headed into Game 2, and after this off-meta pick proved its value, this aspiration seemed to be a real possibility. Thanks in part to
tohle jsem dělal parodii, si pamatuju. Že hitl mě další arrow, trenér mě naporcuje.
a well-comboed kill early on by praying Gorilla in the bot lane 2v2, and as the Tigers began to grow their lead and began spreading
Kurva, další arrow.
SKT all over the map, they eventually saw a window in which they knew that if they could keep SKT busy in the bot lane, they could deal some real damage to their base.
SKT, nejlepší tým na světě, parodie.
The idea of ending the game was quite literally a long shot. The Tigers let their arrow aim true in one of the most iconic finishes in league history.
They're getting worse. Gorilla putting down 5 damage auto attacks, doing what he can to keep mid lane alive against top, and him has been killed, and they even got the pick off on Bang.
Rocks doesn't actually have to stop pushing right now. They can delay the recalls. The arrows get teleport.
Push. It's now on Wolf. It's a teleport coming in for Smeb and Kuro. How much more can be done?
They want to win right now.
The tank. Wolf running out of health. He's gonna die off. Onto the turrets they go with the and it's too much. SKT are here to
Ten
defend.
tank Eko byl poslaný. To je tento tank Eko, no. Ježíš, to byla meta taky.
Pushing down Duke, down below 1000. Ults back on towards Prey, push back yet again, but Sveb's running low, but they get it. Inside the Nexus, they're trying to...
Jak tady ti dva týpci, ten Prey a Gorilla, tak to byla strašně silná botlane. Ten přijde jako asi nejsilnější bot, co kdy hrál lolko, jakože duo. Oni spolu hráli prostě já nevím, třeba 7 let nebo něco takového a v každém týmu, do kterého šli, tak šli vždycky spolu a byli strašně jako silní, no. A je tady v této hře to jde vidět, no, že prostě tahou nějak hovado, no. Asi jako nejvíc dominantní duo, co kdy hrálo lolko, mi přijde, no. Já to je myslím, že jediná hra, kterou vyhráli v tom finále, no.
Now, though this play has been regarded as one of the greatest
Ty natáčíš příběhy runetery, ne, to generuje AI.
endings in the game's history, if we're talking about the most memorable Nexus break in the history of the game, we needn't look any further than xPeke's unforgettable maneuvers during IEM Katowice in 2013. Headed into this crucial match, the stakes
Já říkal jsem to, že tam bude
were
xPeke.
high as the winner of this series would advance to the tournament semifinals, and in the process, fans would be treated to an exciting mid lane matchup between both Fnatic's
Adam generuje příběhy v Riotu, no.
xPeke and SK Gaming's Ocelot. While xPeke had already cemented himself as one of the best mid laners in the world, thanks in part to having been on Fnatic's World Championship winning roster, his opponent, the rising star Ocelot, looked to give this legend a run for his money, and at least early on, he certainly succeeded, as after managing
Suba tady v tom videu nebude, kámo, no.
to acquire a respectable lead on Elise, while SK pulled notably ahead of Fnatic, it seemed that this Spanish streamer would be able to pave the way for this German organization's trip to the semifinals. That is, until after 40 minutes of game time, SK overextended in their efforts to try and deal the killing blow to the already wounded Fnatic, with multiple catch-outs leading to both teams' bases taking some serious beatings. However, despite things finally looking as if they had fallen back into the complete control of SK, as they charged down mid lane after a successful base defense, instead of trying to stop what would have been the game-finishing push, Fnatic's xPeke took a risk, saw an opening, and made history.
You can see this coming in there. Peke is definitely on towards the Nexus. Kevin is going to be able to get on towards him. He's trying to do it, but meanwhile they're in the base. Yellowstar's trying to defend them in the base. Peke is trying to take the Nexus down. Is anyone going to be able to deal with this one? Catches him with another axe. He's very low on health right now. They're pushing on the Nexus. Peke is going to get it. I do not believe it. He's stuck in there.
Yikes.
But now, returning back to Worlds, during the group stage of Worlds 2017, Faker and SKT were looking to prove themselves against reigning LPL champions EDG during their first bout of the play-in stage. However, things got out of hand.
Tohle je to, kde prohrávali o 10 000 goldů a pak dali jedno obrovský Rakan, Oriana, Jarvan a Twitch Erko, že jo?
Incredibly quickly for the second seeded Korean representatives, as despite the hype around the match, the first 30 minutes of the game was a blowout to say the least. With EDG being up 10,000 gold, 9 kills to 0, and 7 towers plus an inhibitor compared to SKT's mere 2 outer turrets, victory was practically guaranteed for the Chinese squad as they went to stop SKT's last-ditch effort to sneak away the Baron for themselves. However, while it both appeared and would make sense that SKT would try and stall out the game by denying such a crucial objective, they used EDG's lack of vision to their advantage, and contrary to the more reserved SKT playstyle, they decided to take a risk, and weaponizing the element of surprise would ultimately shock not only the casters, but everyone.
They're saving the break for now. They got two already. Bang is hiding. He's coming.
No, tady.
Man, here comes your initiation. They're right through. Oh my God! Backdoor shockwave will find them all, and SKT with a hell of a response will take down 4.
With Wolf's knock-up, Hoodie's silence, and of course Faker's shockwave, SKT took this perfect storm of a team fight and
a to je ten rok, kdy se tam vrátil i Huni, že vlastně, no. No a ten rok to nevyhráli, tady to myslím, že byli druzí ve finále, že?
somehow managed to mount one of the largest comebacks in League Pro Play history, but unsurprisingly, this still wasn't even
Ale tenhle rok byli dobrý Worlds, jako. Já můžu si stěžovat, kámo, vsadil jsem si 2 kila na SKT, že jo, už jsem to říkal 1000krát, vsadil jsem si 2 kila na SKT a vyhrál jsem 2200 nebo kolik, nebo 2400, takže přes kurz 11, no, na SKT.
the most iconic play in either SKT or Faker's history in the game, as over in Korea in 2013, fans witnessed the birth of the greatest, most defining moment ever in the competitive scene.
I'm like, even though I only have a bat on the floor,
Fake
I think he's in the
play,
bed.
no?
Oh, Faker maybe in trouble here, Deathmark tries to clean it up for Ryu.
No tak jako sice zahrál hodně dobře, ale strašně mu to udělal to, že měl QSS a zrušil si Rko tohohle druhýho Zeda, no. Jo, vidíš, tady si zrušil tu deathmarku a ta ho jakoby nedorazila, no.
Oh, look at the cleanse, look at the moves! Faker, what was that? Faker with a huge play, the QS...
Ten záběr na ten obličej, vole. Jsem viděl už tak 1000krát. Ten close-up.
I can't believe I just saw that! Actually won that duel! I can't believe that happened!
Proto je nejvíc známý ten Ryu, protože on byl faker takhle.
Just charges into the KT Bullets base.
Now, even though this play is
Pík tvojí kariéry je to, že tě zabil faker, vole, z QSS.
without a doubt
QSS byl aktivní item, ne? No byl, no, však furt je.
the conversation for being the most well-known in all of esports, something that seems to be lost on a lot
Vaxi, aspoň ty se jim ptají na píčany, ne?
people is that beyond the insane mechanics of Faker Zed, the context behind this outplay is so incredibly important as to why these skills were just so impressive. You see, SKT found themselves in a best-of-5 matchup facing against the KT Bullets for the OGN 2013 Summer Finals, and despite having opened the series with back-to-back losses, this up-and-coming team had managed to pull back even into the series with a 2-2 scoreline headed into Game 5. And though it's no longer allowed professional play, back then during Game 5 of best-of-5 series, both teams were allowed to select the same champions, leading
Jo, oni hráli blind pick, no. Proto tam je Z versus Z, Shen versus Shen a korejských BO5, když to bylo 2-2, tak poslední hra se hrála blind pick prostě, no.
to both Faker and Ryu locking in Zed. However, this wasn't the only mirror matchup that led to this play being possible. As you may have noticed, both sides locked in Shen, but despite having both their Stand United ultimates up, neither InSec nor Impact decided to interfere with the fight, which, regardless of this being a good decision on their behalf or not, ultimately led to the most iconic moment in League's professional history. But if you're looking to relive some more hype moments of League's past and enjoyed this video, you should check out our coverage of 5 times that League's pros shattered the skill ceiling. Thanks for watching, take care.
Moscow 5 2012 teda byl jeden z nejšílenějších věcí, co jsem viděl, no. Jako Moscow 5, i když nevyhráli ty Season 2 Worlds, tak podle mě ten rok byli nejlepší tým na světě, no. A je lepší jako Korejci, a i Číňaní a všechno. No a pak ale v Season 3 už přišli SKT, no, takže... Pak už to byl takový meme tým trošku, no, nebo jak to říct. Jak se začali rozpadat a oni nemohli trénovat, že, a podobný. No, tam bylo strašně moc problémů, no, s vízama a tedy. Ale už jsem mluvil jako hodněkrát, no, ale vždycky mě štve, že jsme nikdy neviděli jejich plný potenciál, jaký tam byl prostě, no. Že se nenaplnilo. No, a to je, no.